Hello. This is Alana Franklin, and I'm going to do a quick little tutorial about how I use Canva. Canva.com is a great online resource for creating images and invitations, graphics to post on social media, and it's a fairly simple user interface. When you go to Canva.com, it will come up with a screen similar to this. I have a bunch of saved projects down here, and so anything that you create, it will store here for you. But to begin creating something on Canva, they have a bunch of preset templates here for different social media platforms, and they are sized according to optimization for each one of those websites. So Facebook, you want specific dimensions for your cover to fit correctly. Here it's 851 by 315. Facebook posts are best viewed across any device if they are 940 pixel by 788. And so this really just takes a lot of the guesswork, a lot of looking up those optimum dimensions. And there are so many different options. If you push on that more button, you'll see that there are social media posts, different documents that you can create, blogging and ebooks, there's infographics, marketing materials such as business cards. And so if you click into any one of these template categories, then you will see on the left of your screen. On the right, there's this very large white canvas that you'll be creating on, and on the left there are a bunch of templates. Some of them are free, and all you need to do is click on, this gives you a front and a back. That's really cool. So if you just click on that design, it will appear in your space here. Usually this is a little smaller, so you can work with that there. If you don't like that one, you want to try a different one, you can either click on the image and click delete, or if you add one to your card and you don't like it, you can quickly hit undo. I guess I put another one on there. I'll just undo back to a white screen. Now the same goes for, I'm going to leave and not save that. Infographics, let's do Facebook post. There are lots of different options when it comes to themes for Facebook posts. Anything from quotes to, invitations, happy birthdays, things like that. And a lot of these are free. Several of the designs are free. And something that I like to do is take a design and then, of course, modify it. And sometimes search through these just for ideas of different aesthetically pleasing templates or configurations. Now, one of the sites, I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'll show you just a couple of things that I've done on Canva lately. Let's see, I made a cover for a class that we're going to have, and this is an invitation for our 101 class that I created real quickly. And let's see, here's another version. The little girl smelling oils, very cute. This is for an aroma touch training, and so there's lots of different options. I got all of these photographs from a website called Terra. I really enjoy their stock photos. They do an amazing job of making the images be very visually attractive, so people want to look at them. And then let's just check out one of these right here. Another thing that they do well is they leave a lot of blank space so that you can write text in those areas. And so you can purchase the photographs in regular high resolution or high resolution with an extended license. I generally only purchase the regulars. You can see that they have a large pixel size here, 2400 by 3000. They're 200 dpi, which just means that they'll actually look nice and vibrant. And it's only $9 for this photograph, and it gives you 4 in different sizes. So if you wanted to do a horizontal graphic versus a vertical graphic, or a square one, or even a Facebook header. So they give them to you in nice sizes and crops. And then of course you'll find similar images on that page. I tend to really enjoy working with images that have white in the background, just because they are very easy to add not only text, but other doTERRA product stock photos and things like that, but definitely your preference. So this is Terra. When you go to this website, they definitely make you click, let's see, you can go to a doTERRA gallery, or they offer all their photographs in generic as well. And something that you need to do each time is well, let's see. Generally, they will make you click on a disclaimer. I guess I've already done it. So I'm just saying that you're going to use their images compliantly. So I found this to be great. They'll generally put out these types of graphics just before the holidays. So we had some cute Easter photographs and some really great Valentine's Day photographs that you can do fun things with for your team. So Presentera is a fantastic resource. They're also very open to suggestions, and I've had a lot of communication with the I guess leaders over at Presentera and have requested some things, and they're just fantastic to work with. So I purchased the regular photographs here. Sometimes they are in a single photograph or a pack, or sometimes you can get, I can't remember, I think they call them a bundle, where you'll get up to about 24 photographs, and so you can get them for lots of different themes. So back to Canva, you can see I've used several of their stock photos from Presentera. And when I'm working in a project, something that I like to do is to make a copy. So let's say we're going to open up this graphic right here. I actually didn't need to open it. Everything pops up into a new screen, so it's okay to just close that out. But one thing that I like to do when I'm working in a graphic is actually click this little white box and click make a copy. And here my copy came up over here, and you can name that whatever you'd like. And I'm going to actually open up the copy and edit on there, because if you end up not liking what you've done with your graphic, you always want to have that original. If you find a great design or a good layout that you've created and you want to keep that, then always work off of a copy. It just kind of protects you, and you can delete the copies if you'd like. So we're going to go ahead and create this graphic here just as an example. And so what I'm going to do is go back to regular Presentera. I'm going to choose a Facebook post. I do a lot of business on Facebook, and so I tend to favor this size. You can see it's similar to a regular social media post, which is 800 by 800, but I just tend to favor the Facebook post. They also text very well to people, and so I prefer this size. So I'm just going to click on it. It's going to open a new screen with a blank canvas. Sorry, my internet's a little slow today, but here's our blank canvas, and you can make it smaller or larger, your working space, with these little arrows over here. Now, sometimes I will definitely take a gander through these different themes and templates to see if anything sort of sparks an idea for the graphic that I'd like to create. The less work I can do on this, the better. It is a really great click and drag format, and so we'll show you how to use some of the different elements with one of these templates. So, but what we're going to do is actually not use any of their templates. Here we have our Presentera photographs, and so I'm going to click on Uploads down here. And I have uploaded several of the Presentera photographs, and I know I would like to choose this picture here with the feet. So it will, if you just click on it, it will appear, or you can drag it over, whichever you prefer. I'm going to resize it just by clicking on the image, and then I'm going to make it larger, center it right there, and I want a little bit more space for my text, and so I'm going to just raise that up, but I want some of those toes in there because that's very cute. How about the tip of the toe? We'll see if that gives us enough room. Luckily, I have my other copy. Yeah, that's about what I had on there. So we've got our image there. We just click out of there to. I do wish it had a lock feature to it, but unfortunately they don't right now. So you just have to kind of work with your different elements. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a text on here with the title. So when you click on text, it gives you a bunch of different little gadgets here that you can choose and customize. Many of the little sayings here, some of them are static. You cannot change them. And some of them are simply, so let's say I'm going to click on this one here. And I can resize, change the colors, do all sorts of things with it. Let's see if this one's going. That doesn't actually look how, oh, there we go. It's just taking a moment to load. So we can change all the different parameters and colors and things, and of course the size. And let's see, if you just double click on the different fields, you'll be able to see if it's text that is editable, so we're just going to edit that to, you know, whatever we would like it to say. Now, I'm going to actually just delete this because I don't like that and don't actually need it. There are pre-selected here, or there are headings, subheadings, and then body. And so obviously if I'm just going to do a heading, you can click on add heading and it will come up with your generic text box. And so I'm going to just type in Essential Oils 101. And then you can do a lot of nifty things in dragging this around. Now, if you put your cursor over the actual words and you click on it and you try to grab it and move it, it won't work. Anytime that you actually click in the field of text, you'll see the cursor appear, and that's ready to edit your text. So to move it around, you want to just move your cursor below it or above it to where the little 4 arrows arrive, and you can move it around accordingly. And I like that they give you guideposts for centering your photographs. Now, to up the font size, we're just going to go ahead and choose that and click on it. There's no need to actually highlight your text, although sometimes I still just do it out of habit. Same with the font here. Now, there are quite a few options for changing font, and it can really set the tone of your graphic. And so, you know, we're going to get a totally different feeling if I'm using clicker script and having this cute little Essential Oil 101. In fact, we would definitely with this font make it a lot larger, and that's very cutesy, and if that's your style, beautiful. I tend to like more modern fonts, and we do need to be careful about font pairing. Sometimes people want to use a bunch of different fun types of fonts, but in actuality that can distract the eye and make it unreadable and just not appealing to look at. And so when we're font pairing, one thing that I like to do is to choose 2 fonts that are either very, very different from one another because it's easy for the eye to distinguish them, or something that I'm prone to do is to use one font that has different weights to it. So Lotto is one. One of my favorites, Nunito, is very modern and there's different weights. Open Sans, I tend to lean heavily on this font. And then there's another one, where is it? Railway. I really like Railway. There's heavy, regular, and then thin. So I'm going to go ahead and use heavy for the text of Essential Oils 101. We can see that's a little big. See there, I went highlighting it. I'm going to bring that down until I feel its weight is right for this. You know, this isn't cropping the same as it did on my other one. I think, so this is the pre-made square of a photograph, and you can see I can only make it get larger and smaller. I'm going to go ahead and delete my photograph, go back to uploads, and remember how Presentera gave us different formats. So this picture here is just a square, same photograph, but this one is in a 4x6. And so because it's a different shape, when I stretch it out to fill this canvas, it's going to give us different options. So there you can see I can get more of the feet in, and voila. So if you needed to reorganize it, you could push right here and send it to back. It did it apparently automatically for you. So you can kind of adjust or move the layers of different objects by clicking on this little arrow right here. There are actually quite a few options that we'll go through. So Essential Oils 101, we really want that title to stand out. Now, just a couple of things about design. When someone looks at a graphic, generally if they're scrolling or even in print and newspaper, you get about 3 seconds. That's the max. And so your message has to be able to be, you know, read and understood in under 3 seconds. If you have a block paragraph of text, that has to be secondary, meaning just acknowledging that someone's only going to look at it if your graphic and title, or, you know, that main attention grabbing information has actually succeeded in securing their attention. Then they'll read your text. So just be mindful that this white space is actually really good, and so we're going to attempt to leave as much white space. It's very pleasing to the eye, but we also want to get a lot of our information on this graphic. Now, Sometimes it is all right to put the basics on the graphic, but to keep it clean, we want to put the details in the post. And so you can, post this graphic and in the description, hey everyone, this class is going to be great. Maybe if you have a promotion, like, bring 2 people and get a gift, you mention that in the post. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the graphic. Not everything does. I would make sure that the time and the date, or time and place, and that type of identifying information is definitely listed. But anything else that you can add as text, just go ahead and do that in your post or in your text message or whatnot. Okay, so Essential Oils 101. Now, something that we could do, I want to put the title underneath on this final copy here. You see we've done Essential Oils 101 and then the time below it. But we've done it in the same font, only a lighter font. Now I could come over back to text and click add a subheading, but then I would have to adjust for font and everything else. So one thing that I'm fond of doing is just pushing on the little down arrow there and clicking copy. And it just brings up a mirror image. And I like to do that for a couple of reasons. One is because these text boxes are now the exact same size. And so when you're trying to center them, it's going to give you the guidelines on the middle and on both ends. And it just helps with being clean. And I think it also makes this process faster. So I'm going to take the text on this one. And instead of railway heavy, we're going to go railway thin. And then we also want to change the color a bit. So we're going to change the color to a couple of things. One, I made this black originally. Black is very heavy to the eye. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually make it a dark gray. So you can do that from your black or your gray. If I click this gray, it's definitely too light. If I click the black, it's too dark. So if you push plus up here, it's going to bring up a color gradient. Now you can take your little guy and move this all around and make it super wacky. But I'm not very good at finding colors that way. I'm going to go back to black and then click the plus again. And I'm going to use this gradient guy right here. So I'm just going to take the black and soften it a little, maybe to a dark gray. And we'll see how we like that. Just kind of, I don't know, makes it a little better. Now with our Essential Oils 101, I want to have kind of a fun complementary color. Notice how their default palette right here only gives you some primary colors and, slight variations. None of these are colors that I would want to use in this design. So what I'm going to do is actually go back through on Canva's pre-made designs to pick a color that I like and get some inspiration. So you could do that here. However, just one thing I'm fond of doing is coming back to your original tab and clicking, I like their cards. So I'm going to click on cards. It's going to open up a new window as if you were going to design a card right now. And I'm going to just look at these different cute designs and the different colors that are on here. And we're going to find a color that we like, and then we're just going to take it. Let's see if I can find the one I originally used, because I think I really did like that color. Here's one that has a nice blue. That blue is okay. Let's go. See, and this blue is too purpley for me. I want something that is going to be, let's see, I like this blue. Is it this blue that we used? Can't remember. So what we're going to do is when you click on this picture, notice that this little, what do they call it? Almost like an inspector comes up here, and you can click on that template and it's going to show you these colors. Now I'm going to click on this blue and then, which I didn't need to, it was already selected, but push on the plus and notice that it actually gives you the color code. So I'm going to write down that color code for this blue that I like. It looks like a 0A375C. And I'm just going to go back to my design in that next tab. And I am going to click plus. And I'm just going to add in this little color code that I just collected from another page. And voila, we have our color. Now that actually looks a little bit darker than what I used on the other page. I have the color code written down, I believe, so I'm going to just adjust that real quick because that one wasn't the exact one I wanted to find. I think the one was 228496. Yes, I liked that color a lot. And I found this one, I thought it was under cards. If we can look on here and, you know, if we thought that was too dark, perhaps we would, you know, come down here and choose this blue from We've Moved. That's actually a really nice kind of turquoise teal color. And I do this a lot for yellows. I mean, you can see the difference between this kind of mustard yellow and this really bright, happy yellow here. And so it's going to change the mood of your graphic, the tone of your graphic. And here's one that is, you know, more gold in color. And so it's just fantastic. You can click on them, click on the color and get that code and steal that and take it for your own design. And I do the same with the font pairings. And so let's look at, what was this font? Chiffon, and then this one here, Babis New. Okay, so these go very well together. I like them. And let's look at a couple of other examples. So this graphic right here, they've used the really flowery place script with a very plain, more modern sans serif Montserrat light. And so there's only two choices here. So again, if you're going to pick two different fonts, make sure that they are very different and that you just stick with those two. Sometimes graphics are just painful to look at if they have too many fonts in them. So same here, you can see a really fun flowery font and then a really regular font. And if we liked any of these colors, they're all available whenever you click on them. So fantastic inspiration there. So let's go back to our graphic now that we've gotten that. And we want to change the text here to say the time and date of our class. We just did Tuesday, July 5th. I teach a lot of classes on Tuesdays. Tuesday, July, let's just do this one again. Tuesday, July 5th at 7 p.m. Okay, so notice how I typed out of the parameters, and so this went ahead and just went down to the second line. One way to get that to open up is just to stretch the element, so you could do that and it would come back to that center line and then you can adjust it. I don't like that. I'm going to undo once and undo twice. Oh, it took my color away. Let's redo. There we go. So there's an undo and a redo button here. Don't always know exactly why it does everything it does, but so we are going to, oh, and it took away my date as well. I wonder if I do redo again, if it will. Oh, nope, that's the last redo. So here we go. Tuesday, July 5th at 7 p.m. Okay, so this time I'm just going to change the font size because I want this smaller. And something that I enjoy doing when I play with different font weights is just having the edges, having them match up. I think it's a nice kind of clean look. Now you can't get exactly, this looks pretty good on the Tuesday side there, but let's say I needed to go up from 48 to 49. Well, the 49 is not an option, but you can manually change it here. So I'm just going to go to 49 and look at that. It matches pretty darn well right underneath there. It says that's the center, but I think it looks better right about there. So we've got our title and our subtitle there. Now on this graphic, I decided to put a fun little element here. And I found that if we go up here to elements, so we have layouts, which shows us all the different layouts, elements, which has all of our fun little aspects that we can add, text, which gives you these done up little text boxes, and then of course your regular text at the top. Background, which I actually never use background because I'm generally using a stock image. And then uploads, which has all of the photographs that you have used. And we'll do a little bit more with that in a moment. But if we go back to elements here, I want to go to, I believe, shapes. Shapes are fun. And let's just scroll down. So the way to get an element onto your page is if you just click on it. Mine makes everything purple. I think I tried to make the doTERRA purple one time and it caught on, and I made that my kind of template color. But we can do that. We can delete those from the page. And let's go down and find, there are some really fun different shapes and things that you can do. Now, one way to accomplish the little element embellishment there is you can click on one, and I could resize this. And let's say I want to put it here. And if I click on the color, because I've already used these other colors in this template, my color is already saved here. So I can just click on that and it's going to actually match my text. I love that it saves the color, so I don't have to put that code in each time. Then what you can do is go back to text. You can add a little bit of body text, change the color, make it to be some kind of a cute font. Let's make it Allura, I think I said that wrong. Anyway, yellow, and you could do all kinds of fun things there and make your own typographic. But we are not going to do that. We're going to go the simple route and just choose one of their pre-done text boxes here. So let's come down and see. There's some really cute ones. I sort of like these ones that say words. Now sometimes the text is selected in there, and so you won't be able to change it, but many of them you are. So this is our little guy right here. Grab this guy. I'd already had it in colors. I'm gonna make him a little bit smaller, and I think I got it on the other one in a way that it looked almost like the oils were saying whatever it was that they were saying. Okay, so let's first clean up the colors. They've got this pink and purple here. The pink is going to be, let's see, I think I picked the pink to be white, so we're going to click plus, and we're going to add, I don't know why white, oops, I don't know why white is not an option. It should always be an option. I think we've just played with too many colors. Okay, so we're going to click plus, and I happen to know that all F's is white. And we are going to choose that here for the little sewing type border as well. I thought that was cute. And then what we'll do is we'll take the gray and we'll make it our color that we are using down here as our sort of accent color. So our nice little kind of turquoise teal blue. Now we don't want it to say hey, we want it to say something fun. And I believe I actually still used railway. That's what I love. But let's just change the text first. I think we put, what's the buzz? And I'm not changing the size. It actually does that as I type in here. But I did, if you put in your own, you hit the return bar and you make it go to the next line, it does make it bigger. What's the buzz? About essential oils. Okay, that's obviously not proper for, what if I did this? No, don't like that. Let's do, no. How the heck, let's just look at how I did that. I played with it a little bit. What's the buzz about essential oils? Okay, so what's and about and oils are all on their same. So if we just go, what's the buzz about essential, and we put oils on its own, boom, there you go. The parameters there, it allows it to be taking up that entire space. So we've got our cute little kind of punch thing there, which people may or may not read, and that's fine. Let's scooch it over just a tiny bit. You can move that wherever you want just by clicking and dragging. All right, and I'm gonna actually move this guy up just a teensy bit. We're gonna give ourselves some space down here for our block paragraphs that tell what time and where. Oh, but we did also, I forgot to change the, let's see, the font, and we are working with Railway. I'm just gonna go Railway regular, and we're gonna keep that. So I've now used Railway Heavy, Railway Thin, and then Railway Regular. And it gives it a nice kind of texture to the project, but we're still using the same font size, so it's not gonna mess with people's eyes, which is great. All right, I'm gonna go back to text because we are gonna do a text box. And so I'm just gonna click on add a little body of text, and I immediately drag it down here. I'm going to take it and change the color to be our dark gray that we had created that matches this Essential Oil 101 there. Oh, that's right, we also wanna make it, let's just go to Railway. So Railway Heavy, Thin, there we go. We'll do Railway. And then I chose to write this little sentence here that I actually just copied and pasted from the invitation I use on Facebook. So you can copy and paste things in here just the way you would in any other document. Now let's say I wanted all of it to be left aligned. You can see how that looks. or if we want to take it, I'm going to leave it at center because we're actually going to do 2 boxes of text. And I think I like that size of 16. Now perhaps we can get it to where the beginning of this text aligns with our E right here, and see they have those kind of guides for you. Also, sometimes when we have text at the top, like a header, I want to make sure there's enough space between the border of the project and the first words, and that matches down here where we have border of the project and first words. We never want to have anything so close to the edge because it's just not, it's not visually pleasing. So we're going to take this box right here, and instead of just, you know, creating another new one over here, we're just going to copy it. So we're going to click on copy. We have our second box. We're going to move it out of the way and see if we can align it. See if we align it over there, it's actually going to be overlapping. So what we'll try to do is just get an equal amount of space on either side. And this one's going to be a little different because we are going to write the address, which is Silverdale Wellness Center. And then I stuck my phone number on there as well. So I'm just going to copy this, or we could type it in, all the same, but we're just going to copy and paste. I just made the Silverdale Wellness Center all caps to distinguish there. Anytime you can align things like this, the side of this text box is aligning with the side of that. It's fantastic and just kind of visually pleasing. Okay, so there we have it. I'm going to kind of take a step back for a minute. I think Tuesday, this should come down a bit. Bothers me a little bit how close to the foot this E is. I want to leave a little bit of space for the I. There we go. Okay, that looks actually really good to me. I might take this entire graphic and just, you can use your arrow keys. I'm going to make the graphic come down, but that's about as far as I can go because if I go any further, it's going to show white space on the top. But there you have it. Now, one thing that I like to do is walk away from the project. Now, if you look up here, you'll see where it says unsaved changes. In just a moment, that will say all changes saved. At that point, you could actually X out of this window, and always give yourself some time to just kind of cleanse your visual palette, because inevitably you'll come back to the project 15 minutes later, an hour later, a day later, whatever you want to come back to it, and you'll see things that maybe you didn't catch at that very first time. I think the first time I made this graphic, the little dots around this, the little sewing marks, were gray or something, and I didn't catch it the first time that it would be more aesthetically pleasing if it were white, but I caught it the second time. The same with a couple other little nuances here and there, but they're easier to see when you're looking at your project with fresh eyes. If you're starting to get frustrated or feeling like you're having, you know, designer type writer's block, just walk away from the project and come back to it. It's really frustrating when you've tried a bunch of different things and you feel like you're kind of starting to lose the project. So, but here is this image. Let's say we've walked away, we've come back, we've tweaked a couple of things, and we like it. We are going to download this. Now, some of the elements cost money, but we have used all free. We used our own stock image. We used this little graphic here that was free, and everything else is just text. And so this is going to be a free image to download. Now, this one says image for web. I always do high quality image just because it's going to be a better DPI. It's going to show up better. So I will download that high quality image. Now, and that's great for posting on Facebook, on any social media, on texting to friends. The only time I ever use the PDF, and I always do PDF for print because, again, it's higher resolution, is I will do it for PDF if I'm going to print it. You want it to be, it actually has to be a higher quality for print than it does on a screen. And so that's when I'll take that there for print. And something else that you can do, if you do download this for print, is that you could take the PDF and open a Windows document, or if you're on a Mac, you can open Pages, and you could place 4 to 6 of them on a page, and then you could print that page out and cut them out and, you know, print them on cardstock or whatever you would like to do there. You can do that with a high quality PNG as well, but the PDF is just going to be a better quality. So for our purposes, we're just going to post this graphic online. I'm going to download the image, which is high quality PDF. Now, this is the part where if you were using a paid element, it would let you know that you needed to pay, you know, $1. Sometimes you can buy packets of credits, so I'll purchase 10 at a time, and then honestly, it takes me about a month or two to go through even $10 on this site. I rarely use the paid images. And so however things download to your computer, mine's opening up in the Pages preview program there. It's going to automatically open. Yours might be saved to a download file or whatever that looks like for you. So here's our image. I can widen this, make it smaller, see how it's going to look on online. So I definitely like that. I'm going to go ahead and rename it. I'm just going to rename this one. Let's see. We'll just put EO101. I'm going to save that in my doTERRA folder. And then that is now EO101 saved in doTERRA folder. So when I go to Facebook and I want to upload this, I'll simply act like I'm grabbing a picture and I'll retrieve it from my doTERRA folder and I'll recognize the name that I just used. So this is a fantastic, you can come back and download it in as many times as you'd like or in as many formats as you would like. Sometimes, you know, I'll just come in the next week, or because I teach regular classes on Tuesdays, I'll just come in and I'll just change out this date over and over. And so that's what I've done. Let's see, where are we? This one. This is one of my oldest designs right here, and I've used it so many times that I literally just have to come in and change the date, or instead of Silverdale Wellness Center, I'll put hosted by and put their name. When I make them like this for a class that I want all of my leaders to distribute, I don't put my own information on there because, you know, I don't want them distributing a flyer to their friends that has my website on it. But when I use them just for myself, I'll move this block of text up a little bit and I'll add another little block right here that just says my name and has my doTERRA, my name, phone number, and my doTERRA link. So you can definitely add that. But a lot of graphics I try to leave in such a way that many people could use them. So if we go back to this example here, here was the instant after sun. You know, I wanted to create this for, I can't remember, but everyone can use it. So it doesn't just have my name and my logo. Now the nice thing is that you could download this as it is. Now notice it has Canva watermarks. So let's say I was going to do a high quality image, it would tell me here that my total would be $1 because this photograph that is used back here is a premium element, needs to be paid for. So I'm not going to download it again, but I could, and you get to download it for 24 hours. So if I pay that $1, I get 24 hours to edit this and then re-download it. So if you wanted to make this and distribute it to your entire team, but then come in here and quickly put your name and ID number or website and then re-download it, you would have a version for yourself and a version for your team and to share. So that's a great option as well. Okay, let's see. So we have, I'm going to close up a couple of these. We've created our image here and it looks fantastic. We have our version that we are downloading. There's another one that we just did. I grabbed this element right here from one of the free ones that doTERRA had and just typed in the rest of this with right align text and just aligned all this text on the right hand side. So we created a nice border there. Let's see. I'm going to leave even though I not changed that. We did some Aroma Touch ones. Okay, so let's look at this header right here. A little bit big. So let's say instead of Jessica Iddings, this is going to be Emily Wright. Emily Wright is going to come to town. And she's going to be like freaking awesome miracle worker. I don't know what we should call her. What is her title? Well, let's go find out. So if we go to doTERRA's homepage, go to our advocates, we can find some pictures on here. Let's go to our company. Executives, that's what we want. And there's Emily. So she is founding executive and sales and marketing. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm actually going to increase the size of this screen and notice how her picture stays the same resolution. I love it when they do this. I'm going to take a screenshot of her, which for my computer, I'm on a Mac, it's just Command-Shift-4. I'm going to take this little picture right here of her beautiful face. So that saved it onto my computer. Now I'm going to, we'll just put founding executive. So we'll change this to founding executive. And then we can go ahead and center that or make it bigger or smaller, however we want. Instead of Jessica's beautiful face, we're going to go ahead and put Emily's on here. Now, see here how it says upload your own image? You can click on that, and for a Mac, it's going to bring up all of my files here. Another way that you could do that is, well, I guess on a Mac, is you can open your Finder, and I'm going to go to my desktop is where all of my screenshots, please don't judge my desktop, it's awful. I'm going to open this screenshot either by double clicking it, which, oops, if I double click it, it just actually opens it on my screen. So I am going to click and drag. So I'm going to actually just take this one here, oops, and I'm going to click and drag it over, and it's going to automatically upload it there. Okay. Another way that I could do that is just by clicking upload your own image. It's going to ask you where you want to grab that from your computer. Let's say I wanted to do one of these downloaded images, which I think it's of my son or my husband. We'll just click open, and same thing. It's going to pop up here and be one that just comes into the system. So again, click and drag. We're going to take Emily's beautiful face. We're going to hover over that spot, and voila. It's going to allow us to put her face right in there. If you double click on the image, we can make it this. Actually, you just have to click on it once. You can make that larger or smaller. If we click on, okay, double click on the image there, that's where you can make this larger. So let's say we wanted to zoom in on her face more. Once we like the crop and where we have this photograph, then we can just click the check mark. If we click the X, it would go back to how it was before. So we can move her around anywhere we want, resize this, change the color of the border if we wanted to. That's hideous, so let's undo that. And there you have it. So we can, now this template was one that I didn't actually have time to create, and I just put a photograph there. You could just as well put, you know, a really kind of any photograph that you wanted in there, anything that you thought was aesthetically pleasing, perhaps this image here of someone teaching a class, and we can, again, double click on the picture. Double click. I think I'm getting ahead of the system. My internet is not liking how fast I'm going. But you can put in any photograph, and you can do that with a stock image, or like you saw me do, I just took a screenshot. And doTERRA gives us so many different pictures. Even if you just go to our products and you, let's say we wanted to single oils like this, let's say this right here, you wanted to use that. I'm going to make the screen a little smaller. You wanted to use that as a header. You could just do another screenshot and take it like this, and then boom, I'm going to put some words underneath those bottles, and I'm going to use that as my next Facebook header. So you can see how you can get a lot of graphics for free, or you can go to this Present Terra and have a heyday with really well done photographs. Okay. Back to, this was our card we were just playing with. I'm going to close that up.
Hey there, fellow wellness advocate.
Let's silence that. Sorry about that. Okay, so I would do the same here. Download this. It's already in the exact dimensions that Facebook likes it at, and we can just plug that in. So let's see. I think that's it for right now. I said really quick tutorial, and it's turned into almost 45 minutes. So I probably should just close it up for now, but I just encourage you to have fun, click around and with the different elements that are in here, play with them. Don't forget to just open up a new window for inspiration. Some of my favorites, let's see, even sometimes I'll go into things like flyer and just look at the different flyers that they have. You know, I'll open up that flyer and I'll look here on the left-hand side and go, which one of these would look fantastic for my next essential oil class? Maybe this one right here, and I'll just, let's see, click this one right here, and maybe I will go to uploads, and instead of that picture of a drink, I will just go ahead and put in a wonderful stock image of, you know, whatever. A mom using oils on feet. We'll change these colors around, grab some cute colors that we like. I'd probably use a blue that matched the peppermint, you know, and tie this all in. But you can see how you can create these images that look professionally done with zero experience and just a few little tips in navigating around Canva. So I will try to put this out for everyone to utilize and hopefully be able to answer any questions and maybe make a couple more tutorials if there are questions about one thing over and over. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you found some good tips and that you feel confident in making your own graphics. It will save you a lot of time and just be a really great tool for getting people to your events and keeping your team in the loop. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.